Hey, deep divers. Welcome back. We spent a lot of time on this show digging into, well, complicated topics. Conspiracy theories, ancient mysteries, you name it.
We do love a good mystery.
But we do. We do. But today I wanted to kind of shift gears a bit, dive into something, well, a little more grounded, something that affects, well, pretty much all of us at some point or another.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What did you have in mind?
Parenting.
Parenting, the ultimate mystery.
Right. And specifically, there's this style that parenting experts have been calling the gold standard. Have you heard of this?
Yeah.
Authoritative parenting, it's called.
I have. And it's a bit of a misnomer, isn't it? I mean, authoritative can sound kind of, well, strict.
Yeah, exactly, like a drill sergeant or something. But it's actually really not like that at all. In fact, it's kind of the opposite. It's all about finding this balance, this sweet spot between setting firm boundaries for your kids, but also being super supportive and understanding.
Right. It's not about being permissive. It's not a free-for-all. There are still rules and expectations.
Totally. But it's the why behind the rules that's so important here. Like, instead of just saying no dessert, an authoritative parent might say, we're focusing on healthy choices tonight so we have tons of energy to play tomorrow, or whatever.
Exactly. It's about giving kids context, helping them understand the reasoning behind your decisions.
Yes, and that's so key, right? Because it helps them develop their own decision-making skills. They start to understand that their actions have consequences, both good and bad.
Absolutely. It's about guiding them towards making those good choices, not just punishing them when they make mistakes, which, let's be honest, we all do.
We all do, kids and adults alike. So you're not just laying down the law, you're actually explaining the why behind it. You're bringing them into the decision-making process, even in a small way. And the research on this stuff is fascinating.
Oh, tell me about it. The studies are really clear. This approach has a profound impact on a child's development, like across the board.
Okay, like what? Give me some examples.
Well, for one, kids raised with authoritative parenting tend to be way more resilient. They bounce back from setbacks more easily. Like whether it's a bad grade on a test or a fight with a friend, they've got the tools to cope and move on.
That's huge. Resilience is like the magic key to life, wouldn't you say?
It really is, and it goes even further than that. These kids are often more independent. They're more confident in their abilities, and they tend to be more successful in school, too. It's pretty amazing, actually.
It's like a win-win for everybody, really.
Yeah.
You're not just raising well-behaved kids. You're raising kids who are set up to thrive. But, okay, let's be real for a second. There's got to be a catch, right? Parenting is never easy, no matter what style you're tripping to use. What makes this one so challenging?
Yeah, you're right. It's definitely not a walk in the park. I mean, the biggest challenge with this approach, I think, is that it takes a lot of, well, effort. It's not a set it and forget it kind of thing. It requires you to be really present, really engaged with your kids.
Right, so it's not just about the rules themselves, but how you're showing up as a parent, right?
Yeah. Exactly. It's about creating a space where your kids feel comfortable coming to you, talking to you about anything.
So it's about building that trust.
100%. And that takes consistency, setting those clear boundaries and sticking to them. And it also means being open to having those tough conversations, even when it's uncomfortable.
Okay, so it sounds like a lot of work, a lot of communication, but ultimately you're creating a real partnership with your child, right?
Exactly. You're on the same team, working together. And that's so important for kids to feel. But, and this is a big but, it's important to remember that every family is different, right?
Of course.
What works for one family might not work for another. And that's okay. The key is finding what works best for your family's unique dynamic.
Which, let's be honest, is a whole other deep dive.
It definitely is. But it's a journey worth taking.
Totally agree. Because ultimately, we all want what's best for our kids, right? And if this approach can help them develop into these resilient, independent, successful human beings, well, sign me up.
Right. It's about setting them up to be the best versions of themselves. And that's a pretty incredible thing when you think about it.
So much to think about.
Okay.
As always, expert speaker, this was incredibly insightful. Thanks for taking the time.
My pleasure. Always happy to be here.
And to all you deep divers out there, keep those questions and comments coming. We love hearing from you. Until next time, happy diving.